Hi, I'm Alex Pault, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Talking Timepieces, where we talk about watch collecting and horology. Today, I've got another piece from my good friend Rob, and he's going through his phase where he's buying all the cool collectible watches that he can afford. And so we're actually going to have a few of his pieces come through the show. He's got some Invictas and this Vostok and some other pieces that we could take a look at. This is an interesting Vostok because it has a 24-hour dial. Let's open it up and take a look inside. So here's the Vostok Kommandarskie 24-hour. Just wanted you to see the box. It's not, Vostok, these aren't expensive boxes, but at least they have a decent presentation. And there's the watch. A little paperwork, your standard Vostok. It's got, this is pretty much what you get for warranty paperwork, but as long as you get a warranty, right? And there's the piece. And let's put it on the stand so we can look at it up close. And let's zoom in on this thing. Now, as you see, it's very, very straightforward as a 24-hour watch. The hand literally only goes around once all day, and it's an interesting way to present the time. It is not a GMT. Don't confuse it with a GMT watch. This watch does have a 24-hour dial, but it is secondary to the primary function of telling basic time. So this Vostok Amphibia GMT tells 2 times. This Kommandarskie only tells 1, but tells it in 24-hour presentation. So let's zoom in again. And one of the other aspects about it is because a 24-hour hand is well suited for navigation, because if you point the 12 at the sun, then the hour hand will point at north. Not like you wouldn't have to do bisecting math like you would do on a regular watch with 12-hour hands. It's far easier to do navigation from a watch with a 24-hour hand, and that's one of the reasons that this watch has a 360-degree dial as opposed to a timer dial. Now, the 24-hour hand, it is similar to the philosophy behind the Explorer 2, which was originally created for spelunkers, cave divers, and possibly Arctic explorers and Antarctic explorers, people who couldn't see whether the sun was up or not, so they would need to know what time of day it was, morning or evening. This is a similar philosophy, but of course, being Russian military, it was more for people like submarine crews and people deployed in underground bunkers and other places where the sun was also a rarity. So just a really cool presentation. Now, the case on this isn't your standard magistrate case or your standard, that blocky, your blocky Kommandarskie case. This is almost an oyster style case. And let's zoom out a little bit and get some measurements on the watch and the case. The bracelet is pretty good as well for a Vostok, who have notoriously crappy bracelets, but this one's decent. It feels a little flimsy, and it's a pin and sleeve, but it's got a milled butterfly buckle. I don't see any half links here, so good luck on sizing it. But the case has got a nice size and shape. Let's take a look at the measurements. So we're looking at a 41.5, it appears to be. And lug to lug is 47, I would say. no, 40, it's actually pretty trim. Yeah, 46 and change. Not bad for a watch of this size. And the thickness is 15, which, is to be expected of a watch of this type because, they're not worried too much about making it svelte. They wanted to make it rugged. And speaking of rugged, this has the traditional design of the Vostoks. A lot of Vostoks have got the compressor design where the face is a plastic crystal deliberately so that it deforms under pressure to become more waterproof as it goes deeper. And also, if we look in the back, let's open that up. And there you have it. Okay, and so it's your typical Vostok movement. As you see, it is a bidirectional winding mechanism. And your typical robust Vostok piece. The spacer is metal, not plastic. So if you were talking about a nice watch as a mechanical sports watch, you can't beat this, especially at the price point. This is under $200. And with a 24-hour face, it gives you a really interesting presentation. Let's throw it on the wrist real quick and take a look. I'll put the back on very quickly. Let's just fast forward to that part, and then I'll just stick it on. Okay, so wristwatch check. I'm currently wearing my Omega Seamaster GMT. Really nice watch. And a first generation coaxial movement, so it's the modified ETA first generation. Really nice piece. I've got a video on this piece. I believe I do. If I don't, I'll definitely make it one of my next pieces. But you see it has a display back, which is rare for an Omega of its time. So let's put this one on. This one's probably not going to fit me. I didn't size it. But at least it'll give us an idea of how it sits on the wrist when we look at it from this angle. So it's a good looking piece. It's got good wrist presence. And like I said, the 24-hour is a very interesting and eccentric way, eclectic way to show the time. And so gives you something to talk about in the bar when you're sitting there having your Guinness. So let's turn the camera around and close out the episode. So that was the Vostok Kommandarskie, a really cool sports watch and an interesting way to tell time. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it.